We don't want you to forget to cheer on the Knicks tomorrow night when they take on the Spurs in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We want you to watch it at 8:30 p.m. on ABC or on ESPN app. We want you all to have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy the view, and don't let yourselves get down. We're in this together, and we'll get through it together. And we'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
President Brie Cheese. So rich. So creamy. No wonder it's the #1 brie in America. If it's excellent, it's President.
I have never seen someone who is received a loan be so angry at the person who gave them the loan.
Not sure where this friendship goes from here.
Hot Bench.
Friday at 3 on ABC 7.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
A man has been arrested for allegedly hitting and kicking a student he was dropping off at school. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Former gubernatorial candidate Elliot Cutler is back behind bars again, and the tabulation process for ranked choice voting in several primary races begins today. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories in just a moment. Thank you. First, we'll check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Friday afternoon, and just issued, we have a flood watch that is up until 3 a.m. Saturday. We have some decent rainfall that will be on the way until about that time frame. The dense fog advisory expired at 9 a.m. and heat advisories further off towards the south and west too, so some advisories that we are keeping an eye on at this moment in time. So the fog is going away, so that's not so much of a concern anymore. The focus is going to be on the rainfall that will be on the way coming up. So we are seeing some rain showers developing now, possibly going to see some lightning strikes showing up on here very soon as we do watch for showers and thunderstorms that will be developing through the afternoon and especially during the evening time frame. Obviously the concern is going to be heavy rainfall. That is why we do have those flood watches now posted in parts of the state. Let's zoom things out right now. We do have energy that is passing through with more heavy rainfall that will be en route before we're all finished up. Here we are with Futurecast. More showers and thunderstorms on the way with locally heavy rainfall, and even watching for things to start to back off as we head towards Saturday morning. So gusty winds possible up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour today. Some wind lingering during parts of the evening time frame. Hourly forecast pushing forward. We are going to be seeing some clouds and yes, even some storms through parts of the afternoon period. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Bangor police have arrested a man who allegedly assaulted a student he was dropping off at school. Bangor police spokesperson Katie England says about 9:15 on Thursday morning, an officer was contacted by administration from a school on Moosehead Boulevard. England says school officials turned over video that allegedly shows John Davis hit and kick a student he was dropping off. Davis was taken to the Penobscot County Jail. He's being charged with domestic violence assault. Former gubernatorial candidate Elliot Cutler is back behind bars. He was arrested Thursday for a 6th probation violation. The district attorney's office confirmed Cutler has been taken into custody and taken to the Penobscot County Jail. Cutler is convicted of having sexually explicit images of children and has been accused of violating his probation numerous times. His lawyer, Walter McKee, tells us Cutler was arrested again for failing to sign a probation treatment plan document that had internet restrictions. His attorney says that was inconsistent with what the court ordered, and he plans to fight it in court. It was just last month that Cutler was released on $10,000 bail, and during a hearing in June, a judge ordered him to have limited internet access. A Bangor man charged in connection with the 2024 death of his 10-year-old son has pleaded guilty to murder. It comes just days ahead of his anticipated trial. Our Grace Blanchard has the details.
Bangor father Joshua Smith has pleaded guilty to murdering his 10-year-old son, Braxton Smith, changing his plea just days before his trial was set to begin.
Do you understand the charge, sir?
Yes.
And how would you like to plead? Guilty plea is entered.
The 35-year-old originally pleaded not guilty in July 2024. Braxton Smith died in February 2024 after suffering months of abuse and neglect, according to court records. At a hearing on Tuesday, Smith asked to change his plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. But Thursday morning in Penobscot County Court, the defendant pleaded guilty to depraved indifference murder. Smith is now the second family member charged in Braxton's death to enter a guilty plea. Jem Bean, Braxton's mother, previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Joshua Smith's mother and Braxton's grandmother, Misty LaTourette, is also charged with murder in connection to the child's death. She previously pleaded not guilty and requested a bench trial.
Jen Bean would testify that they made Braxton sleep in the bathroom with no more than a blanket, his ankles zip tied to a tote, and his hands zip tied behind his back.
According to Assistant Attorney General Leanne Robin, the abuse went unnoticed because Braxton was homeschooled by his father and grandmother. When he died in the hospital on February 18th, he was only 48 pounds and was bruised, emaciated, and burned. The judge accepted Smith's plea. The maximum possible sentence is life in prison. The state and Smith's defense attorneys did not wish to comment. While no sentencing date has been set, Smith is expected to learn his sentence towards the end of September. The trial of Misty LaTourette will begin next week. In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Fire marshals are investigating the cause of a house fire in Indian Township. About 8 p.m. on June 9th, the Indian Township Fire Department responded to a structure fire at 19 Wolf Drive. A spokesperson from the fire marshal's office says when crews arrived, they found an active fire in the living room that had spread into the kitchen area. No one was home at the time and no injuries were reported. The spokesperson says the state fire marshal's investigators were on the scene most of the day on Wednesday. She says they determined the fire started in the living room near a couch, but the exact cause could not be determined. That investigation remains ongoing. Maine's primary election is moving to the next stage, which means it's the beginning of campaigning for independent gubernatorial candidate Rick Bennett. He kicked off his Let's Get to Work tour at Gagan's Pub last night for a meet and greet with voters. Bennett says he's running to unify both major political parties, and a more affordable Maine is top of mind for him. With ranked choice tabulation still pending, it's unclear who Bennett will be up against in November. He says he hopes to encourage voters to look beyond partisan politics when they get to the polls.
And I know I'm running as an independent because I want to govern as an independent, and that means being inclusive and collaborative and communicative. All those words that are not, you don't hear much in politics these days, but we need to bring that back. We're going to fix our broken politics, and that's the goal of my campaign and the goal of my governorship.
Bennett will be holding more meet and greet opportunities across the state. Maine's 2026 primary ballots are now surrendered by armed police and ready for ranked choice recount. Police wheeled locked metal boxes filled with ballots from all over the state into the public safety building in Augusta. By Maine law, only police can handle ballots for transport. The ranked choice tabulation process will get started today, and the Secretary of State's office says people can watch the process live on YouTube.
You can see how boring it really is, but what they'll see is that people are uploading data from the memory sticks to hardened machines that are never connected to the internet as well, and that we're hand counting paper ballots.
That ranking runoff starts at 1 p.m., but the process takes several days. The state is hoping to have the results by June 19th. The races for governor on the Democratic and Republican side will both be ranked, as well as the Democratic primary for Maine's 2nd congressional district. No candidate in any of those races won more than 50% of the vote. People in Jay and Wilton voted overwhelmingly in favor of keeping their individual police departments. 62% of voters in Jay and 58% of voters in Wilton want the departments left as is, despite the consistent struggle to keep them fully staffed. Brad Rogers reports.
I think it's just a good read on what the town prioritizes and where they want to go.
Jay Police Chief Joe Sage says despite the majority vote to keep things as is, some Jay and Wilton voters supported merging the police departments in some fashion, and some thought the town should contract with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for coverage. Because Tuesday's vote was non-binding, those options can still be considered.
It still leaves us open for discussion. We can continue to work on, maybe exploring other options or even circling back and maybe having some more discussions with the community later on down the road.
And the whole purpose of looking at this was to find an economic balance between Jay and Wilton and to be able to get the amount of coverage that we were lacking in some instances.
Jay Select Board member Gary McGrain says the vote makes sense. Families in Jay and Wilton know their officers, and the officers know their towns.
They know the community. They know where the dangers are, if you will, for the coverage that we're looking for.
Right now, Jay and Wilton are each down one officer.
We don't have, extra personnel just standing on standby.
Filling those vacancies is not easy.
And there's just not enough new police officers coming through to be able to keep fully staffed for very long.
The Jay Town manager says too often officers leave Jay and Wilton for higher paying jobs.
The reason for this, even being discussed was the challenges that both departments have been facing with manpower.
She and the chief say if police shortages continue in Maine, it's only a matter of time before towns have no choice but to regionalize the police.
I think regionalization is the way that especially communities are going to adopt to try to handle some of those staffing issues.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, if you dream about going to space, you can own something that might be the next best thing. We'll be right back.
Come to AMHG Works on Saturday, June 13th for Sasquatch Meet and Greet Day. Miss Sassy Sasquatch will be here with her friend Melanie the Moose for pictures with you and the family. Only at AMHG Works, 36 Springer Drive, Bangor from 12 to 3 p.m. See you there.
Graham Plattner blamed women for getting raped. Who says something like that? Plattner said women should take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. What's wrong with this guy?
Plattner said to avoid rape, women should act like an adult for F's sake. He's an awful person.
Graham Plattner is dangerous.
I would never vote for Graham Plattner.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At C&R Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the C&R promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with C&R Carpet Cleaning.
We can go into a room and have absolutely nothing in there, nothing on the windows, no color, no character, no tone to a room.
That's, I think, where we're strongest, is being able to help someone envision what's going to go in that window.
And we leave, it's totally transformed into something that the customer wants it to be. We've often been told we make a room look better just by leaving it.
Come to AMHG Works on Saturday, June 13th for Sasquatch Meet and Greet Day. Miss Sassy Sasquatch will be here with her friend Melanie the Moose for pictures with you and the family. Only at AMHG Works, 36 Springer Drive, Bangor from 12 to 3 p.m. See you there.
Don't take a tiny check for your car wreck. Call the twos.
I got a client who injured their shoulder, a big check for $275,000. Hurt in a car accident? I'm your go-to guy.
Next Jeopardy goes to space.
Yelp reviews of the universe.
Which cadet will be seeing stars?
Sometimes there's something very crazy happens here. There will be a from the green room.
Only on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
President Trump says Vice President J.D. Vance could travel to Europe as soon as this weekend for a signing ceremony to end the war with Iran. However, today, Iranian media report says the 14-point plan has not been approved by relevant authorities. Overnight, a U.S. official told ABC News it appears Iran tried to strike commercial ships passing the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Perry Russum reports.
A U.S. official tells ABC News American forces shot down 2 Iranian attack drones, apparently trying to hit commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz, hours after President Trump claimed his war with Iran was over.
I don't know if you heard, but we ended the war with Iran today.
The last 24 hours has been filled with President Trump threatening strikes, backing down, to claiming once again he was close to a peace deal with Iran.
You have said before that Iran and the United States were close to a deal. It has not happened yet. Why are you so convinced that this time is different?
Because they've taken a pounding.
Hours earlier, Trump said the U.S. would soon be taking Karg Island, a crucial part of Iran's oil economy. Taking the island could involve troops on the ground, Trump acknowledging the American public might not be on board.
I don't know that America has the stomach for it, to be honest with you.
Trump calling off that attack, writing on social media. Discussions and final points have been, in both concept and great detail, approved by all parties involved. Trump says he believes Iran's supreme leader has already signed off. But this morning, Iranian media reports the 14-point draft has not been approved by what they're calling relevant authorities.
Until both parties accept the terms of the agreement in the signing ceremony, it's technically not an agreement yet.
Iran has not publicly signed off on anything President Trump is talking about, raising questions about whether this war will be over anytime soon. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
SpaceX marks its stock debut with a launch out of Cape Canaveral. Today's launch from Cape Canaveral was the 650th flight of SpaceX's launcher and the 68th Falcon 9 launch this year. It sent another batch of Starlink satellites into orbit. With a little more than 8 minutes after liftoff, the rocket landed on a shortfall gravitas, which is located off the coast of South Carolina. SpaceX will also celebrate going public as its stock launches on the NASDAQ. Now to the dangerous storm system that struck parts of the Midwest with tornadoes and high winds before heading east. ABC's Alex Perez has more.
There it is, crossing the road.
Overnight, powerful storms impacting millions of Americans. At least 11 tornadoes touched down across Illinois, this twister carving a path of destruction through the city of Streator.
There goes that house.
Powerful winds tearing apart these homes, sending debris flying, neighborhoods reduced to rubble. In Wisconsin, fallen trees and utility poles littering the roads. And in Iowa, torrential rain, some areas seeing more than 3 inches in a single day. At Chicago's Midway Airport, air traffic controllers forced to evacuate.
There's a tornado warning for the airport. It's supposed to be here in 10 minutes or so. We're evacuating the tower.
And a ground stop issued at O'Hare Airport. Nationwide, more than 1,400 flights canceled and thousands more delayed.
And here in Streator, there are personal belongings scattered everywhere. Just a reminder of how powerful this storm was. Now, the process of assessing the damage is only just beginning, but officials say, thankfully, there are no reports of any fatalities. Alex Perez, ABC News, Streator, Illinois.
After the break, a marina in Bucksport has been saved by the community. We'll have details when we return.
Spring savings are blooming at Color Concepts. Save 20% on Benjamin Moore paints and Hunter Douglas shades for a limited time. Some exclusions apply. Visit us just off the interstate at 840 Hammond Street in Bangor.
Make your outdoor living space dreams come true with a little help from Granville Stone and Hearth. Granville can help you go from this to this. Outdoor fireplaces, custom outdoor kitchens, gorgeous stone patios, and more. You bring the dreams, we'll supply the materials to make it all real. Create your stunning outdoor oasis with help from the experts at Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Need a safe and caring place for your loved one during the day? At the Merchant Center Adult Day program, we provide a supportive environment where adults can enjoy companionship, engaging activities, and personalized care in a setting that feels like home. Our experienced staff is committed to meeting each person's unique needs while promoting independence, dignity, and overall well-being. Families can feel confident knowing their loved ones are in compassionate, capable hands.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
Spring savings are blooming at Color Concepts. Save 20% on Benjamin Moore paints and Hunter Douglas shades for a limited time. Some exclusions apply. Visit us just off the interstate at 840 Hammond Street in Bangor.
It's June, and that means we have all sorts of stuff to celebrate. After all, Flag Day is right around the corner. Then there's Father's Day, along with the official start to summer. So you can bet there's going to be a ton of get-togethers all month long. So it's a darn good thing that June is also Dairy Month. This way we can take advantage of all those sales in the dairy cases. And while we're there, we can find new inspiration to get us out of our mealtime rut. If your gang loves grilled cheese, why not change up the cheeses and turn ordinary into extraordinary? And while you're baking that special cake for Dad, try adding flavored coffee creamer instead of water to the batter to give it an extra burst of flavor. Now, one of our new favorites is a go-along salad where we simply mix some fresh broccoli, cut up red onions, olives, cubes of cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese, and if you want, some bacon. Then we toss it with the dressing we made with Greek yogurt, mayo, and a touch of honey. And when you bring this to the table, you can bet there's gonna be lots of oohs and ahs. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our broccoli and cheese salad so you can kick off summer with a new favorite and discover cool possibilities in the dairy aisle. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today I hope I inspired you to find a new way to say, ooh, it's so good.
A popular marina in Bucksport has been saved by the community. Our Sam Miller has the details.
Through the efforts from a newly formed yacht club and the local community, the Bucksport Marina has been saved and is open for the season. The town council recently finalized a municipal budget which keeps the marina operational, even while cutting seasonal waterfront positions. The yacht club's hands-on efforts included putting the floats into the water in the spring, painting the dock entryway, and driving traffic and revenue through memberships. Harbor Master Michael Ormsby says he's optimistic about what future steps will look like.
In the future, I hope that they get together with other yacht clubs and exchange travels. That way we'll get more transient vessels coming into town. Right now, the biggest yacht club I have coming here every year is Portsmouth Yacht Club. They usually bring about 14 boats for a weekend. So it all brings money to town.
The marina at the downtown waterfront has been owned by the town for nearly a decade. It overlooks the historic Fort Knox and Penobscot Narrows Bridge. Community and Economic Director Richard Rotella says the work of the yacht club in the community highlights how important the marina is to the town.
It's another way to connect with the public, whether or not they're residents who also reside here on their boats, or people from upriver, Bangor, Hamden area who are looking at a place. They all bring with them that opportunity to visit our businesses and provide a boost to our businesses during the summer and fall season.
Ormsby and Rotella say they expect a busy summer, with boaters set to arrive from across the state. In Bucksport, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Grant Plotnick called rural Maine stupid and racist.
You're calling me stupid and racist?
Who says something like that?
Plotnick said cops are
bastards, all of them. Graham Plattner has no respect for law enforcement.
Graham Plattner said some lobstermen are absolutely terrible people.
Graham Plattner, you got it absolutely wrong.
It disgusts me.
Graham Plattner would be a big embarrassment for me.
I would never vote for Graham Plattner.
Graham Plattner? No way.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Car accidents can be scary. It can feel like the whole world is crashing down around you. You can't work, you've got expensive medical bills, pain and suffering. Absolute chaos. We'll take the stress and frustrations off your shoulders. We've done that for thousands of people, and we're ready to help you too. Hurt in a car accident? I'm on top of it. I'm your go-to guy.
Call 222-2222.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
Let's check in to see how the weekend looks. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. So the fog is going away now, so we are starting to see some improvement. Any localized fog going away as we speak, as the focus now turns toward rainfall and thunderstorms and locally heavy downpours too. This is the big advisory that our focus is now on. Flood watch is up until 3 a.m. as we head towards your Saturday. So we are seeing some showers and thunderstorms developing. We'll talk about that in a few seconds. But wave heights, you notice we don't have any advisories along the coast, but still going to talk about the wave heights. We're at around 3 feet according to the buoys right now. A little bit active further off towards the north and east according to the contours, but farther out towards sea, 5 to 7 foot wave heights are being noted at this time. Now, water temperatures are still in the upper 50s to lower 60s, so warming up at this point, but still rather cold between the air temperatures and the water temperatures at this point, so definitely worth noting if you're planning to go toward the ocean at this time. Now, as we check out the radar and satellite, we do have some rain showers developing. No thunderstorms at this point, nothing showing up on the lightning tracker, but we are going to have to watch for thunderstorms coming up, especially through the afternoon period. Let's zoom things out. We are going to be watching for a cold front that is going to be passing through that will bring some showers and thunderstorms with it, but things do start to calm down as we do head towards the afternoon period, or at least the morning period as we head towards tomorrow. So let's talk about this. So this afternoon, we are going to get active with showers and thunderstorms. This evening, we keep the showers and thunderstorms going. Overnight, here's where things start to quiet down. We push the clouds and potentially any fog out of here. So Saturday morning and a Saturday afternoon, that's when things start to look better. And here's a change from this morning. Saturday afternoon in the eastern parts of the state, there is a slight chance for a shower or a storm. A part of the county sky with a slight chance for a shower or storm. So for today, mostly cloudy, a few thunderstorms possible. Highs in the low 80s, south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. By tonight, low 60s, scattered showers and thunderstorms, areas of dense fog, southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, all right, so mostly sunny with highs in the mid-80s and a northwest breeze at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Again, that slight chance for a shower or storm possible. Not quite reflected here, but most of us otherwise will be under that mostly sunny sky. So otherwise, it is reflected here. Partly cloudy, that slight chance for a shower or storm in the eastern parts of the state. Otherwise, you'll see some sunshine. Flag Day looking pretty good. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Storms Monday and Tuesday, partly cloudy.
I think I'm going to have to mow the lawn after all. And a lower stakes pursuit in Ohio. Deputies in Butler County chasing 8 runaway goats, hoofing it through a neighborhood. Deputies responded after reports of suspicious trespassers in a backyard. Upon arrival, Deputy Barrett and Deputy Smith discovered the suspects were actually 7 adult goats and 1 juvenile goat that had wandered onto the property. The homeowners confirmed the goats did not belong there, and the deputies contacted the rightful owners. Despite extensive negotiations that involved snacks and coaxing, the goats were reluctant to leave their newly claimed residence. Deputies successfully assisted in returning 7 of the 8 goats home. However, one particularly stubborn suspect escaped custody, jumped off the roof of an SUV and fled into the nearby wooded area. The outstanding fugitive is described as a white male goat with brown markings on the right side of his face. He is short, extremely stubborn, and highly mischievous. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6, and we are in Dover Foxcroft for the Whoopie Pie Festival. We'll see you tonight.
I once told Sam, if you want to grow his department store chain, offer lower prices every day. No, I didn't invent discount pricing, but we did invent something better, Dorsey's Red Tag Clearance.
Look for red tags store-wide at Dorsey's. The tags mean you'll save an additional 10 to 50% off Dorsey's already discounted prices. Exceptional values like these won't last long.
Remember, these can save you hundreds. Live beautifully, my friends.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The following program is paid for by Integrated Wellness Solutions.